Hey friends, today we are going to take a nursery tour here at Creekside Nursery. It is the end of January. We are going to be opening for our 2023 season opener on February the 18th. That is a Saturday. We will be open from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. We are in Dallas, North Carolina, just west of Charlotte, very close to the South Carolina state line, for maybe those of you who are new to Creekside. We are a grower retailer, so we grow plants, then we come and sell them to our customers. We also bring in some fantastic different plants, maybe that we just need to shore up our inventory. Well, that is what we are going to talk about and focus on today. This morning, oh my goodness, before I had even 5 sips of coffee, at 6 a.m. we had a nice, big, huge, massive truck from Johnson Nursery down east North Carolina, from Willard, North Carolina. They are a great grower, wholesale grower, and we were able to order some gorgeous plants from them. So he was here at, I would say not even bright and early, because it wasn't even bright. It was pretty dark. But we knew that he was coming, so we were prepared, and gorgeous shrubs. So I'm excited to share them with you. These are things that we will have available when we open on February the 18th. So all of our local people and those of you that have already contacted me and say, hey, we're going to plan a trip, we are going to be there when you open on the 18th. Yay, we are so excited. So that is the point of these nursery tours. This is not a huge in-depth video on just 3 or 4 plants. This is the purpose of these garden tours, these nursery tours rather, is to give those people who are coming to the nursery an idea of what is available in real time. Those of you who are not going to be traveling, or maybe you're too far away, this just gives you some inspiration, things that maybe will be popping up in your garden center when they open. So we're going to fly through a ton of plants. I am going to give you names. I'm going to do my best to give you zones and basic specs of them. If you want to learn more about these plants, simply pause the video, write down the name in your gardening journal, and then resume the video and keep on going. Then when you have extra time, if you want to learn more, say about pufferfish and see exactly what pufferfish looks like, then in your free time, when you're nice and relaxed with a hot cup of coffee, you can do a little bit more exploring to see if pufferfish will really be a great plant for you. Okay, so that is just kind of gives you the overall format of these videos. Without further ado, we have got tons of shrubs to talk about, and I am sure you see those pallets behind me. Those are aqua pots and traditional pots, the strawberry planters from Michael Carr. Yesterday we got tons and tons of rain. It was just a nasty day. It was cold and wet, and of course that's when we were having all sorts of deliveries even yesterday. Those pots we will get unboxed, unpackaged, and have them out available for sale on February the 18th. Hopefully in the next week, we will, for the next week's nursery tour, we'll have them unpackaged so you can see exactly what is there. So without further ado, let's talk about pufferfish. Now, clearly it is the end of January. Hydrangeas are not flushed out yet. So yes, they're gorgeous sticks, and you can see how beautifully they have been trimmed. Pufferfish is a wonderful panicle hydrangea, new on the market. It is creamy white blooms. This is going to be a full sun to part shade hydrangea. Depending on where you are, if you're in a cooler zone, it can go full sun. If you're in a warmer zone, especially not on irrigation, then you need to give it a break from that hot afternoon sun. These are going to be hardy in zones 3 to 8. And basically 3 to 5 feet tall and wide. Pufferfish is so much fun because they do these massive, huge blooms, and then at the end they do this little, almost like a little tail that pops out. Really fun hydrangea. Like I said, it's new to the market, so if you're wanting a pufferfish, these are stunning plants. I mean, these are nice, big, healthy plants. You're going to be loaded with blooms this season with these pufferfish. We have got a slew of azaleas because in the south, right, the spring is just covered in azaleas. So we have a lot of the Proven Winners Perfecto Mundo azaleas, and we have Encore azaleas, because both of these Perfecto Mundo, like this is Perfecto Mundo double white, Both the Perfecto Mundo series and the Encore series, these are re-blooming azaleas. That means that they're going to bloom for 3 times in a year. This double white is nice and petite. Of course, that gorgeous classic double bloom, hardy in zones 6B to 9, and it's going to be more small, 2.5 to 3 feet tall and wide. But you need these to be in full sun. In order for them to bloom 3 times a year, they've got to have that full sun. And then right behind them, you see Perfecto Mundo red. Clearly the foliage is even different and the height is different. So you can see that there's going to be a reblooming azalea that's going to be about just about every color you need and about every size you need. The zones are roughly going to be the same. Azaleas are warm weather plants. This one gets 3 to 4 feet wide, still about 2.5 to 3 feet tall, but it's going to be wider. So when you're looking at your azaleas, especially like your reblooming azaleas, find what color do you want, what size do you want, and then go from there. Here is one that is a really popular one here at the nursery. This is the Encore. This is Autumn Bonfire. Autumn Bonfire clearly is a nice, beautiful red bloom, and it has nice dark foliage, especially in the winter. You can see a little bit where it has that burgundy foliage. It really darkens up, and then in the summertime, it'll return back to a traditional green color. So that's really fun on the Bonfire, and the Bonfire is also a petite one. It's going to be about 3 feet tall, 3.5 wide. So lots of fun colors for sure on here. That one back is more of the red. So when we were unloading the truck, they were on racks, and so Jerry was pulling the racks off with the Bobcat, and the kids and I it was literally so dark we had to have all the machines with the lights on, so we couldn't tell what the tag said. So normally we like to have all the plants nice and organized, like pufferfish here, bonfire here. Well, there's bonfire here, there's bonfire over there, there's bonfire everywhere. So it's a little bit of a jumbled mess. That is going to be what we're going to be doing in the next couple of days, is getting everything organized. Arborvitae Tater Tot. So Tater Tot is from Proven Winners. It is an Arborvitae. Now if you're not familiar with arbs, you may be going, Jenny, it's dead. Like, what in the world? No, this is what they do in the wintertime. They put on this bronzy, reddish, coppery brown color. They are not dead. This is just what they do. As the days get longer, the temperatures warm up, then they will turn a beautiful green. If you are a follower of Creekside, then you know back in the fall, I had some little tiny tater tots from quarts that we had gotten from Proven Winners, an event we went to, and I potted them up to see how they were going to do. We are right on the border for tater tot because it is hardy in zones 3 to 8, and I wasn't sure how it was going to do. Well, a ton of you responded and said they do great in your gardens. And people who are a lot warmer than I am, like even down towards the Atlanta area, Mississippi, Alabama, y'all have grown tater tot and said it does great. So we went ahead and brought some in because they are a great evergreen shrub, nice and petite. They only get like 1 to 2 feet tall and wide, and you really do not have to prune them. You can just leave them alone and they form this beautiful little perfect mound. So we have tater tots. Also, we have, there's so many things, y'all. The Stellar Ruby Magnolias. This is a beautiful banana shrub. If you want to, that is kind of the common name of this. We have talked about this many times before. I have Stellar Ruby in the berm. This is going to be a small tree, 10 to 15 tall, 6 to 8 wide, full sun to part shade. It is deer resistant, hardy in zones 7 to 9, but banana shrub does those gorgeous ruby colored flowers, and when they're blooming they smell like ripe bananas. It is the craziest thing. I have smelled it with my own nose, and it does smell like ripe bananas. It is wonderful. Back here in the back we've got some more azaleas. This is Autumn Carnation, a beautiful double pink bloom, and carnation will be a little bit bigger. So if you need something with a little bit more height to it, but look at that foliage. Is that not just a beautiful specimen? Even though it's not blooming right now, just the foliage on it is gorgeous. It's going to be 4.5 tall, 4 wide. So a good heft to it. Then gardenias. We're talking about all the things southern here, aren't we? So we've got azaleas, we've got gardenias, we've got magnolias. So this is Steady As She Goes gardenia from Proven Winners. This is, of course, it's going to be an evergreen. It is a double white bloom, continuous bloomer, gorgeous, delicious gardenia fragrance. This is an improved version of Chuck Hayes gardenia, and Chuck Hayes has performed exceptionally well for us, really well. So Steady As She Goes is even more cold tolerant than that. It is definitely for the southern garden, zones 7 to 10, and you need to have it in sun to part sun. So the more sun you can give it, the better it does, and really you're not going to have to prune it. You want to put it in a spot where you can just let it go. It will be 3 to 5 tall, 4 to 7 wide. So it's going to get some heft to it, but imagine a huge gardenia covered in massive blooms. You're going to have the sweetest smelling garden on the block if you've got a Steady As She Goes in your garden. All right, coming on back over here, Sprinter Boxwoods. Sprinters have just performed magnificently well for us. They are just great foundation planting. If you're Sprinters, if you have a little bit of yellowing on your tip, mine are doing this on the back patio. So what this is there was new foliage and they got a freeze and the new foliage got burnt. There's nothing wrong with this plant. You don't need to be concerned about this plant. When warm weather comes and stays, that is the perfect time to gently shape up your sprinters. So what you're going to do is just kind of come in here and do a nice prune, and this all is going to come off, and then you're going to have lots of beautiful foliage flush out. So this is just winter damage. It happens every year. There's nothing to be concerned about it. So if your boxwoods kind of have that look to it, then don't worry. Wait till we get some consistent warm temperatures, then give them a nice light pruning, shape them up, and they will be good to go. Tons more of azaleas. There's Autumn Twist, there's Autumn Lily, which is a beautiful pure white. So just know that if you're looking for some azaleas, we have got azaleas for you. We also have the really fun, this is the Jazz Hands variegated loropetalum. Get in here into the shade a little bit. So when you're looking at this, some people will either love it or some people go, it looks strange. This is the coloring that it's supposed to have. It has a little bit of white, burgundy, green, and pink all on it. So that is a really fun variegated loropetalum, hardy in zones 7B to 9, another southern shrub. We are in North Carolina after all, and it will get 4 to 6 feet tall, 4 wide. So not as mammoth as some loropetalums get. We have some at the house that are easily like 15 feet tall and wide. This is much more manageable. So really fun, and it will do pink flowers, the traditional pink loropetalum flowers on that. Now, talking about loropetalum, I'm gonna let, if we can, let's see, maybe I'll bring it to Jerry. We're playing with the sun. Filming videos sometimes in the different sun conditions can be a little fun and challenging. Now, look at this loropetalum. This is the cerise charm, but look how massive the... It's Everred. Everred. Never mind, we do have a cerise. We have actually, this is the first of what, 3 or 4 deliveries we have coming. There is a cerise charm coming, but this is not it. So this is Everred. Clearly, I had not looked at the tag. I just thought it was. So let me show you the tag. Sorry, y'all. Real life here happening, people. So obviously Everred is going to give you nice, beautiful red flowers on it. It is going to be 5 tall, 6 wide, full sun to part shade, zones 7 to 9. Huge leaves on it, so it will make a nice, beautiful impact from a distance. It's what we call a foundation planting because it is evergreen, gives you structure in your garden, and is a wonderful one. When we get cerise charm on one of the deliveries, I'll share it with you. And then one of the other ones that I'm super excited, we're going to go back this way. She's tucked in there. Fairy Trail Bride. Fairy Trail Bride is the first cascading hydrangea. It was actually bred by a fella in Japan, and Proven Winners grabbed it up from him, worked with him to get that, and so now we have Fairy Trail Bride. Fairy Trail Bride, remember, these are coming from eastern North Carolina. They're a little bit warmer than we are. I'm actually seeing some green on this sweet thing. Try to get out of the sun so Jerry can focus in on it. So we actually have some new growth showing right here. See how beautiful and green that is? And you can see that there's little swells all on the stems. Fairy Trail Bride is really fun. It is going to be a 4x4 hydrangea. Needs to be in the sun. It blooms on old growth and new growth, so it is best not to prune it. The only thing that you would prune is, let me show you right here, if Jerry can see this, these two stems right here are nice and healthy. This one in the middle is dead because they had pruned it and the new growth came out right here. So if you wanted to come in once everything starts to flush out, and you could take that and clip that right there. When you have hydrangeas that bloom on old growth, don't prune them unless immediately after they bloom or they flush out with their growth and then there's obviously a dead stem in there. Then you can take that out. But Fairy Trail Bride does huge blossoms on it. I just saw it for the first time actually blooming, and it was a stunning plant. You can put this in a container, just put it in a nice large container, go as big as your space will allow, great in the landscape, really fun. So Fairy Trail Bride, cascading hydrangea. I think we have hit every shrub that is in here. Like I said, this is the first of, oh my gosh, 3 or 4 deliveries. But just to give you a little overview, I know obviously you can't really see anything, but we have the strawberry planters from Michael Carr. So many of y'all, you love them as much as I do, so we have a palette of that. It is a mixed palette of colors, like we can't order just one color. The palette comes with mixed colors, so we have that. We've got some nice big aqua pots up here and down here as well. Different shapes, different colors that will be available. And then we have the traditional pottery as well from Michael Carr. He does just a fantastic job. Beautiful designs, beautiful colors, really high quality. So if you're interested in that, we'll have everything open on February the 18th. When you come, it would be a great time to go ahead and stock up on your Proven Winners potting soil. If you're here, go ahead and grab it. We have tons of land and sea. Don't look at this pallet and go, oh my gosh, that's all they have. No, no, no. We had literally a tractor trailer load delivered. So this is just the pallet that's here. We have pallets upon pallets of land and sea. No worries. So you can come stock up on that, because late winter into spring is a great time to apply your compost to your existing beds, right? So that's a great thing to do. Tons of Proven Winners, both the water soluble and the slow release fertilizer. We have more, it's just not unboxed yet. And then of course, all your tones, all the Espoma products are here and available. We use biotone when we plant, right? So that's your starter fertilizer. And then if you have existing shrubs, trees, perennials, that's where you use your plant tone, your holly tone, your rose tone. If you're going to be gardening, your tomato tone, garden tone. Yeah. So we have all the tones. We have worm castings. If you're looking to naturally amend your soil, worm castings, we have that. It's fantastic. Somebody was like, what are worm castings? Well, in a nutshell, it's worm poop. We know that worms are good for our soil. So there's actually worm farms that collect the castings, the poop from the worms, and then you can take this and just directly add it to your soil. It is organic, so that way you can safely use it on your vegetables, your shrubs, whatever you need to do. We do have, these are the aqua pots that had arrived either last year, like at the end of the season. So this is currently like what is out. So this is just a sampling, and then we've got a pallet here of strawberry planters. We've got 2 more pallets. So we're gonna have lots of pottery for you to choose from for sure. Now, I want to end with some flower power because as you remember, last week we potted up our first round of the Proven Winners annuals. Our next batch arrives next week, and so it's going to be a huge order, bigger, much bigger than this one. So we've got these sweet babies who we have got actually some blooms beginning to happen. We were in here yesterday and I saw Nemesia blooming. So this is the new, let me turn around just a little bit so Jerry can get it for you. This is the new Aromanth mulberry Nemesia. So that gives you an idea of what the bloom is going to look like. These are all annuals, so everybody can grow them. It just may be different on your calendar when you can actually put it out into your garden. These will get some nice height to them. If you buy Proven Winner plants, give you a little education here on the tag, how a tag works with Proven Winners. So I'm gonna let Jerry focus. So of course you have your name, you have your picture. Down there at the bottom is going to give you your sun conditions. This is full to part sun, and then we're trying here, people. Just hang on. And then that number where it says 10 to 18 inches, that's the height of it. All right. So it tells you your sun conditions and it tells you your mature height. And then I'm going to turn it over. We're going to see if this works. Then on the back of the tag, it tells you like the habit is upright. When does it bloom, its height, how far should you space it, what growing zones will it, if it is a perennial, like this would be a perennial in zones 8 to 11, how to fertilize, how to water, how much light. All your information will be on the back of these tags. This is why as a grower, we love Proven Winners because they have fantastic tags. We don't have to go around, obviously we answer people's questions, but if you're just perusing, then you don't have to wait on somebody to give you the answer of, well, how does this, what does this plant do? You can look. So we've got that is blooming, and then we've got some super bells over here that are blooming as well. What you probably hear in here is one, the heat kicked on, and then two, we have circulation fans. So there's 4 fans in here, 2 are pointed in each direction. So when the heaters come on, it circulates the air. So that way we don't have massive hot pockets and cold pockets of air in the greenhouse. So if you hear that hum, it's the heater and those fans that are both running. Now, here we go. Look at sweet little Super Bells Honeyberry. Is that not just the sweetest little bloom you ever did see? Nice kind of a pinky coral with that little yellow throat on it. Really fun. So Super Bells are calibrachoas, do great in containers. We love them in containers unless you have extremely well-draining soil. They do best in containers. They hate wet feet. So don't put them in a wet spot for sure. Then we've got the brand new, the Pink Lemonade. So Pink Lemonade is really fun. This is also a Super Bell, but this plant will actually change color. So if you can, as Jerry rotates around, you've got an older bloom that's a beautiful pink, but look at this bud right here. It doesn't look pink at all, it looks yellow. So when they open up, they're actually a yellow, and they mature into a nice, from a yellow to a light pink to a really intense hot pink. So on the same plant, you're gonna have a myriad of colors. It is really fun. Grew this last year, loved it. It was lots and lots of fun for sure. I cannot reach, there's a blackcurrant punch back there. Shorty can't get back there, but there's a Super Bells blackcurrant punch that is blooming. The Super Tunias are coming along quite nicely as, see, Jerry's, Stretch. He's got the arms, look at that. This is a really popular color because of that deep, dark color to it. It pairs really well and pops off of other colors extremely well. Obviously white looks great with yellow, really fun on that. We've got the Super Bells yellows that are blooming. Then here we come into more petunias. The Super Petunia Black Cherry, our beloved Picasso in purple. These are not blooming. These tend to be a little bit later. Honey, Super Petunia Honey. The brand new on the market, the Super Petunia Mini Vista Midnight. Nice deep dark color on that. It was new last year, the Super Petunia Vista Jazzberry. And then somebody was asking, they're like, please tell me you have bubble gum. Oh yes, we always have bubble gum on hand. So we've got our bubble gums. In my opinion, it's like the industry standard for a petunia, does great. And then I adore the Super Petunia Mini Vista White. A pure white bloom on it, great habit, very versatile, landscape containers, you name it, hanging basket is wonderful. I use this plant all the time. Tons of uses in that. And then the Mini Vista Hot Pink. And then another personal favorite of mine is the Mini Vista Indigo. That hot pink and the Mini Vista, like all of them work just beautifully together. The indigo will really be fun because again, you're going to get a little bit of color variation as the flowers from a brand new flower to an older flower. So on this same plant, you're going to get like just a kaleidoscope. It's the same shade, like the same color as indigo, but different shades of it, if that makes any kind of sense. So it gives it some really interesting depth to it. So just know that we have got tons of little babies growing for you. The Mini Vista Yellow, the new one, the new Mini Vista Yellow. I say yellow. Can you tell I'm from the South? Yellow. And then the Bright Lights, the Osteospermum, just so many gorgeous plants that will be available. Now, on February the 18th, am I going to recommend that you come in here and buy all your annuals for the year? Yeah, probably not. Now, am I going to stop you if you want to buy some of these and you've been traveling and you want to take some home? Of course, we will sell them to you. Just at that time of year, February the 18th, you're going to want to probably not put it out quite yet. Hold on to it for a little bit if you have a spot for it. That would be fantastic. We just have them here. They're growing, and that way you can come and see and touch them for real. So it's very exciting. We are excited to open on the 18th. We will be here at 9 a.m. So be sure and come see us. If you are, as the season progresses, we will change our hours. We will extend our hours. The best way to know our hours is through social media. Facebook will always be up to date. Our website will be up to date. So if you have questions, go there. And if it says we're open, we're going to be open. We are not open on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So just know, not going to be open on Sunday. We've got to rest at some point, folks. So Sundays are a day off, as is like Mondays and Tuesdays, because we've got to grow these beautiful plants and do other things for you. So beginning Saturday, February the 18th at 9 a.m. We look forward to seeing you. Lots of fun things for you. Y'all have a great day. Bye, friends.